A magnitude 5.7 earthquake hits the Wasatch Front, followed by dozens of aftershocks.
It's definitely going to take a county building assessor before we let anybody back in.
Just miles from the epicenter, the damage in Magna and how people living there are getting by.
Threw me up, kind of up in the air, and my wife grabbed me and screamed.
Plus, where you can go if you do need to evacuate.
Concern near Kennecott smelter after the earthquake caused a chemical spill. What we're learning about efforts to contain it.
And how state and local leaders are responding to the earthquake.
The good news for all of us is we've been preparing for this for a long time.
What they want you to know coming up.
And then there was an earthquake. As if coronavirus wasn't enough, the shaking caused damage in various places along the Wasatch Front. The 5.7 magnitude tremor hit this morning at 7:09, centered near Magna. We have live team coverage this afternoon.
Fox 13's Adam Herbets is covering an earthquake-related chemical leak at the Kennecott smelter. Sydney Glenn is at the Red Cross Evacuation Center at Taylorsville High School, and Ben Winslow is following how state and local leaders are responding.
But we begin with Lauren Steinbrecher on Main Street in Magna, where there is damage to some of those historic buildings, Lauren.
Yeah, Bob and Kelly, and this is an area that was pretty close to the epicenter, one of the towns closest to the epicenter. You can see, the entire street here, Magna Main Street, is completely blocked off right now. And you can see some of that damage spanning across the entire sidewalk. No surprise with all of these historic buildings that they would crumble so easily. All along Magna's Main Street, pieces of brick and debris have crumbled to the ground. The building's too unsafe to go inside. The heart of this town is shut down for who knows how long.
My first thought is get down here and see what's going on.
Those who own these historic early 1900s buildings knew the shaking wouldn't end well. Unified Fire says they evacuated more than a dozen buildings in a 6-block section of Main Street after the quake hit. Thankfully, no one hurt. Some buildings and businesses are worse off than others.
Everything in our lives is this restaurant, and it's just like getting kicked in the face when we're down.
For the restaurants and bars, which already closed because of COVID-19, this is yet another crisis.
It was emotional, because we don't know if we have the means to come back.
County workers and the fire department walked building to building, really taking a full look at the scope of the damage, as the owners wait to see how much the damage will cost them. Now, one thing that happened just this evening, they went door to door putting notices up. You can see on the Copper Miner Saloon, one of the bars here on Main Street, a red notice saying that building is unsafe to enter. Next door, there's a green piece of paper on the front and green next door to that. So they've gone door to door saying what's okay to go in and what's not okay to go in. So now, of course, figures out how much is it going to take and how long is it going to take to get back to normal here. Live in Magna, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Several people in West Valley City woke up in their own homes for possibly the last time today. Several mobile homes were destroyed at Western Estates near 7148 West Arabian Way in West Valley. Fox 13's Sydney Glenn spoke with some of the people whose homes were damaged. Sydney, what did they have to say?
Well, as you can imagine, they're upset. A really tough morning for a lot of people. Crews still out here right now trying to fix what they can. Dozens of people without a home tonight. You know what they say, life can change in an instant.
It felt like the ground actually dropped out from underneath me, and it was a big boom.
The 5.7 magnitude earthquake did more than shake these trailers. It shook the people who call these home.
It threw me up, kind of up in the air, and my wife grabbed me and screamed, and all I could do is put her under me and wait for everything to stop.
Take a look around this house.
There's nothing left on the walls.
The Tuno's belongings scattered across the floor.
Our cupboards are all open. There's food all over.
But they consider themselves some of the lucky ones. These pink signs now keeping people out of their homes.
These guys, their house is condemned. The one next to me, their foundation is busted in the back.
But through this trying time comes something beautiful. People helping people.
I told her, if need be, call me if there's stuff that you need.
It makes you have faith in humanity.
And while the shaking hasn't stopped yet,
I've been feeling them all day, and it's just a nerving thing.
this community isn't letting their loyalty for each other change one bit. Everyone does have a place to sleep tonight. Taylorsville High School is now being used as a temporary shelter. Of course, COVID-19 still on everyone's mind. A volunteer there tells me they are screening everyone for symptoms before they're allowed inside. Plus, they've disinfected everything, and they're making sure everyone stays at least 6 feet apart. Live in West Valley City, Sydney Glenn, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Sydney, thank you. Hazmat teams are dealing with a hydrochloric acid leak at the Kennecott copper smelter west of Magna.
Fox 13's Adam Herbets has been tracking their progress throughout the day. Adam, how are they doing?
Well, Bob Kelly, one thing we want to make clear, this did not happen at the Kennecott copper mines. It happened further north right here this morning at the refinery. Nobody wants to hear news of an earthquake or a chemical spill, but the good news in this situation, or I guess you could say the silver lining, is that everyone is safe, both the employees and the general public. No reason for anyone to be concerned because all of that chemical, the hydrochloric acid that was released this morning, has since dissipated, caused by that earthquake. Earlier today, we spoke to people in the area who were just trying to escape from all of the problems going on right now between the earthquake and coronavirus. They just wanted to get out of the house and go for a hike to escape until they realized their trail was right next door to this.
Yeah, we always come here to explore the mountains, hike up. And then we didn't know that there was a spillage because of the earthquake. It makes you think, like, what's going on? Is there something more?
It's out and dissipated today. It is gone. You'd have to be right on top of whatever's there to continue to have a problem today.
Crews have been out here throughout the day just in case there is another leak, especially because there have been so many aftershocks from that quake this morning. If it happened once, it could happen again. The PR team for Kennecott tells us there is no time frame right now on when the plant will reopen, but the most important thing is that they're confident it is safe. We're live just west of Salt Lake City. Adam Herbets, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Glad to see the progress there, Adam. Thank you. This morning's 5.7 earthquake is something emergency responders have been preparing for. We've been briefed throughout the day on how the actual response has gone. Fox 13's Ben Winslow is at the Salt Lake County Emergency Response Center. Ben, you've been at that happening spot all day today.
Well, a state of emergency management official I spoke with called this a designer earthquake. It's one that wakes you up, makes you pay attention, but is not catastrophic. But what it is a warning to be prepared.
I felt like 10 semi-trucks just hit the building because all of a sudden, anyway, it was kind of a terrifying moment.
This morning's 5.7 earthquake startled everyone in northern Utah.
I come out the door and I'm seeing rocks falling down from the top of the building. I'm thinking I need to get out of here.
The good news for us is there are no injuries that have been reported, no fatalities.
The governor, the mayors of Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County, and public safety officials are trying to reassure everyone. The earthquake hit in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is extremely bad timing because we already have the coronavirus issue that's going on right now, which is causing a lot of anxiety as it is, and certainly Mother Nature has no, I guess, reference point for additional challenges that we face here today. I would just like to say that the good news for all of us is we've been preparing for this for a long time.
The biggest damage was to Salt Lake City International Airport and a chemical plume at Kennecott. About 100 families have been displaced because of damage in Magna.
After a very challenging morning, the major incidents that we were managing and watching are currently under control.
Aftershocks will continue. Buildings are being examined for damage, and authorities say they believe the biggest quake has already happened.
The aftershocks, that's sort of what to expect. There should be hundreds, if not thousands, of magnitude 2s and 3s, but for the most part, they won't do any damage.
Salt Lake City's mayor says people should stay home.
Social distancing is still critically important, but social grace goes a long way in times like this. People are worried, people are afraid, and rightfully so. But please be kind, be generous, be forgiving. We all want the best, and we will get through this.
Now, infrastructure remains intact and power is coming back on. That's the latest word we have from the governor's office here. Now, state leaders are urging you to be prepared for the next earthquake. Have a 72-hour kit ready. Take steps to be prepared for the next one should it happen. We've got information on how you can prepare at fox13now.com. Live on the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Ben, thank you. If another earthquake happens, here is what the U.S. Geological Survey says you should do. If you're indoors, stay there. Take cover under a table or move to a hallway or inside wall. Stay away from windows, fireplaces, heavy furniture, and appliances. And don't try to get outside while the building is still shaking. If you're outside, get as far away as you can from things that could fall on you. If you're driving, carefully move your car off the road. Do not stop on or under bridges or overpasses. Stay in your vehicle until the shaking stops. And once you start driving again, be aware of damage.